Hello and welcome to Pompey Talk in partnership with Jan Lee. My name is Mark McMahon and joining me in the studio today to discuss Pompey's trip to Hartlepool is new sports writer Jordan Cross. Jordy, welcome.
Hello, Mark. Yes, I'm still waiting on a phone call from Danny Rose. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So we'll be very quick here
We're
today.
going to whip through this. Danny Rose is shortly going to be doing his column for
Okay, for the Sports
so
Mail.
quicker, please.
Okay then. Well, tough trip for Pompey then against Hartlepool tomorrow.
Yeah, probably harder than many would expect. I mean, looking at the table, they're fourth from bottom, or just on the fringes of the relegation battle. But when you actually do your due diligence, buzzword at the moment, on them, it's going to be a tougher game than perhaps people would expect. Their actual home form is pretty positive. They've won 3, drawn 2, and lost just to one of the last 6 at the Victoria Park, Victoria Ground being Stoke's old ground. I won't call it that. And yeah, it's a home form that's really keeping them alive. So it's going to be tougher than many would anticipate. 1,000 plus hardy Pompey fans getting up at the crack of dawn to make the trip. It's one for the hardcore really. But Paul Cook's hopeful and upbeat about the prospects of an expansive game, the way they like to play the game, the big expansive pitch, so expansive space they've got there on their pitch. So he's upbeat. It's going to be a tougher game than many would anticipate.
You've been speaking to the local journal up there. Obviously, has told you about their current home form. But what else has he said, especially with Dave Jones there, the manager?
Yeah, well, that's probably why Pompey sold 1,000 plus tickets so they can go there and give him a load of abuse. Obviously, Dave Jones through his Southampton connections there. So yeah, he referenced it actually in a story we've done today, portsmouth.co.uk, and in the paper, saying that he expects Pompey fans, where they certainly wouldn't have forgotten his Southampton connections, and he's been to Fratton Park a couple of times since leaving Southampton. Obviously, he's had a career sort of at the likes of Wolves and Sheffield Wednesday since. And he's got some stick then, but he's actually very complimentary about Pompey. Not only their support, how good they've been in recent years, but the job that Paul Cook's doing, the way his philosophy on the game. So yeah, and obviously he's a scouter as well, like Cook. So they've referenced that. But he's gone down pretty well there actually since he's come in, and I think they regard Dave Jones as probably the highest profile manager a club like Hartlepool's ever had. Yeah. Chris Turner's well regarded there, who's now CEO at Chesterfield, the old goalkeeper, because he had some success there, sort of going back into the sort of start of the millennium. So yeah, they're upbeat that he can eventually turn things around. But in terms of what the threat will lie for Pompey, they've got goals going forward. Padraig-Amon's got 13 this season. Nathan Thomas got 9, and the one who's probably been highlighted as the one to watch is Luis Alessandro, who's got 9 as well, but he's got a stack of assists. So they've got goals in them.
Yeah.
And yeah, probably they're leaking them as well, and that's something they need to probably look at over the course of the season. But they started well. They hit a rough patch around December time where the players weren't paid, and that really hurt them, and that's when Craig King eventually departed. But I think all told, they're looking in more upbeat fashion than they were. So just to reiterate, Pompey need to, as we were talking earlier, need to really be going there. If they've got promotion credentials, you would think to win. Having said that, I don't think a point would be a bad thing tomorrow. I mean, when you assess the run-in now, and we were talking about it with Paul Cook off the record or off when the dictaphones were off yesterday, how many wins will be needed? I thought 3 would get Pompey there, because you need the teams like Stevenage to get 5 wins and a draw from 7 games. Fair play, they get that. But some people in the coaching staff think it might even just be the 2 wins.
Yes,
that few. So although on paper you need to be turning over the Hartlepool if you go there, I don't actually think a point would be a bad return tomorrow.
Yeah. Stevenage are obviously at home, I believe, to Barnet tomorrow, so it's 3 points you'd surely expect from them. But close that gap. You don't want to be looking over your shoulder though, do you?
No, I mean, and Paul Cook said that, like Dave Jones will be here, be looking up, and so is Paul at the moment. I think that's got to be the mentality going forward, and the reason why we're looking at such a lower amount of points is because the teams aren't picking up the win, hitting the runs, are they? So, I mean, I wouldn't even write anything off as a foregone conclusion in this league at the moment, because teams aren't really hitting the form. Okay, Stevenage have done. Blackpool, fantastic at the moment. I mean, the team most likely. But as I keep saying, if Stevenage were to maintain what they had done, to just get into the picture, if they do replicate that again, hats off to them. I just can't see him doing it.
Okay, in terms of Pompey, Owen Doyle is definitely out. We know that there.
Yeah.
Who would you go for up front then?
Well, it's a poser, as we picked up on the back page lead, and that was probably the big talking point coming out of the press conference yesterday. Paul Cook threw in a bit of a curveball, actually, because we were talking about Kabamba, Chaplin, who obviously a fan's favourite, and Noel Hunt, who for me would probably be most suited to go playing that 4-2-3-1 formation with his knowledge and experience down the years. But Paul Cook kind of referenced Cal Naismith wouldn't be out of the equation. He's someone that can play as a number 9. Got the attributes. I mean, he's 6 foot. He can probably head the ball quite well and lead the line. Obviously, then there's ability to sort of like run at players as well. And Cook said he did a similar thing with Klukas at Chesterfield. So, yeah, I think it was just an indication that there might be something a little bit different, because Paul Cook sort of said if we do something different to handle the absence of Owen Doyle and it doesn't work, we can't just keep chopping and changing. So that might have been a bit of a clue. Whether that actually means to the extent of changing formation, I don't think it would be that. I think it would be 4-2-3-1, but it might look to do something a little bit different. I think I'd probably go with Noel Hunt, but as an outside bet, don't write off Naismith up there.
Okay, well, one person that is due back in the team is Christian Burgess. Obviously, he missed the game last week because of his suspension.
Yeah, he comes back in.
Stephen, how important is he?
Well, he's in the team of the EFL Team of the Year, isn't he? With David Ford and Ender Stevens. He's important. I mean, the settled formula at the back has been the key to 18 clean sheets. We pick up on that with Matt Clark, who's going to be our back page lead on Saturday. He's feeling like he's got unfinished business after having to sit out the final 5 games of last season and go through the pain of what he thought would be a pretty easy season when he came down from Ipswich in the Championship. So that partnership, it's just a solid Burge and Clark. They've got the right attributes to get the best out of each other. Clark's a more head it, kick it, 6'5". It looks like he's 30 even though he's 20. Where Burge is a bit more of a libero, a cultured player. Sometimes he might be his downfall, but he seems to be cutting out those moments as his career goes on. I just think that the yin and yang of them works really well, and that's been a big factor in Pompey's success. And it's probably been a bit of a hard luck story for Tom Davis, who comes in, that they've done so well. You can't really knock Paul Cook for sitting with that settled formula, and as Cook himself says, given the chance, he likes to do that, at both ends of the pitch. So you've seen players miss out as Owen Doyle's been given a run, and that's been a big part of the clean sheets. The fact that it's been like that.
Okay, we're still waiting on Danny Rose to phone.
Danny, come on, pull your finger out. I know you've got a flight to catch. The plane's flying up actually this weekend, but I've got to go home sometime today. So. Okay, well then we'll quickly wrap up and just ask you then for your prediction. Yeah, as I say, I think Pompey will go there with the mindset to win. They won't go to shut up shop. They just don't really tend to do that. A point would be fine. Going to be a decent game. You can see a few goals. 2-1 win.
2-1 win.
Yeah, go for that. Wrap it up quick.
Wrap it up quickly. We're off. Okay, thanks very much for your thoughts, Jordy. You've been watching Pompey Talk in partnership with Jan Leap. We'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.